Do you hear the sounds of nature? That's a fucking bat. Sick! Holy shit. There he goes! That was sick encounter! What up, my dudes? Just want to check in with everybody, see how we're doing. Saturn and Neptune have been doing this weird little do-si-do for a while now. You know, it was a real potent thing back in about May-ish. Yeah. And then it loosened up a little bit. And now those things are both retrograding. And we're going to go through basically something very similar again, right? Where they're going to tighten up and it's going to be like, what the fuck? But retrograding is from a different angle. So we're going to see the lesson that we just learned from a different angle. And I got my first flavor of that today. And it was a potent one. So I'm going to talk about it. Now, Saturn and Neptune, when they're conjunct, are kind of a difficult thing to handle, right? Because when two things are conjunct, it's like a magnification or a mixing of the two things. And Saturn and Neptune are very different things. It's sort of like oil and water. Like, just kind of hard to mix up. Saturn represents, you know, this real clap back to reality. Like, here's the harsh reality of the thing. It brings to the table like this sense of like integrity, discipline, right? Saturn represents the need to have discipline to create things in this physical reality. It has this very like masculine, fatherly type energy to it. I think it can represent, you know, father figure type shit, or familial karma. So it has sort of these like deeper themes of reality here on Earth. And it's mixing with Neptune, which is like our most dreamy selves, the place closest to our soul. It has a lot to do with like our unconscious, our subconscious. It can have to do with like mental health or like our addictive tendencies, like in its negative form, and in its like more positive form, it's the most dreamy, beautiful shit. It's about like creativity unbound. So I think those are two very difficult things to hold. And I'm learning it can have like this harsh sense to it, but it can also have this like, if you allow it to, the ability to help you bring some of the more beautiful, creative, dreamy things into reality. Right? For me personally, the first time they were conjunct in May, I referred to it as structured disillusionment. It was like having these really dreamy things, you know, Neptune things of, you know, idolizing or just like really being super fucking dreamy about climbing trees and then having to climb my first tree and have my ass freaking handed back to me. And realizing like I need to treat my body better. I need to have more discipline in like in climbing, like making sure I'm climbing, because there are no exercises that you can do to mimic tree climbing. It's the most stupid strength you can have, like one thigh, your right shoulder. Anyways, having this real comeback to reality of like, this is what you need to do. And like also realizing if I want to accomplish my dreams in seed orcharding, right? The researching, like I need to get really serious and focused about certain things. Realizing that I need to establish more of like a discipline, sit down and write, and sit down and study. I'm very good at the practical application part. Anyways, realizing I need to be more structured with what I'm doing in myself to create my dreams. It was meeting a scientist who, you know, I sort of idolized. right? And one of my things is I'm like, sometimes I am fearful that I'm not a certain way and I can't participate in the academic environment because I'm not a certain way. And it was sort of like this realization. I met this guy, right, this scientist that I idolize, and he's just a normal dude. Like, he has kids, we have the same fears, we like the same stuff. He's got cool t-shirts and Birkenstocks, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a guy that was focused and worked hard for a couple decades and did something really baller, and that, like, it was like realizing that I could also do that. So there was some real positive sense to the disillusionment, and realizing I can just teams the dude and he will answer questions, and like, yes, it was like a powerful thing. It was a good thing. Saturn Saturn conjunct Neptune last time was getting my ass chewed. Right? By two people that I respect, two people that I value, right? As people, as leaders, right? And just having to sit there and take the ass chewing, which was uncomfortable. Saturn can be that way as well. And one thing that I got out of it that was really practical. A lot of Saturn lessons come with this real practical thing that you get out of it. So don't fear this stuff. One thing that I got out of it is that sometimes as a leader, you need to do the reality check and like give a good ass chewing. But that there are moments when that's an appropriate thing to do. I left the gas pump on and burned the bitch up. Got my ass chewed, but then at the end we were still friends, and we talked about how we were doing, right? Talked about life, you know. The one guy gives me eggs still. Like, it's good. Respectable ass chewing. That was Saturn conjunct Neptune last time for me. And then this go around, right? Because Saturn and Neptune came together in May. They were conjunct. And then they separated for half a fucking second, and now they're both retrograding, moving backwards. We're going to look at similar themes, but from a different angle. That's kind of what retrogrades represent. Okay, and they'll be conjunct, I'm not exactly sure, here in the future. Buckle up, buttercups. Right? And I've caught my first wave of that coming back together again. And it's also this call to, like, you know, a reality check. Almost of integrity, right? Because what happened was, you guys, I'm going to tell you the dirty fucking truth, is I lied. And I don't, like, just straight lie all the time. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm too truthful, and I'm learning that you can shut the fuck up. But anyways, I lied. And it was in like a split second, like, did you share the Wi-Fi password, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And in that moment, I was concealing a thing. And I still don't know exactly fully what the thing was that I was concealing. I'm gonna think about that. Right, and again, it came from the person who, like, reality checked, who integrity checked me. Very Saturn-y thing to do was a person who, like, I respect them as a leader and their integrity. So it was this whole thing of, like, having to look at my integrity from someone I see as integrous, right? I'm gonna go tell him, I'm gonna go back and fucking tell him that I shared the Wi-Fi password. I'm gonna do it, but it's been a good thing in looking at, like, you know, the reason why I gave out the password is I think that I want everybody to be my friend. And I'm realizing that I don't need everybody to be my friend, right? Because when I gave them the password, I literally have the thought of, like, I know I'm not supposed to do that, right? But I wanted them to like me. There's a lesson in that. I'm willing to deny my own integrity so that other people will like me. Be my friend, right? And in that moment, I had felt like I denied my own integrity. It did. I felt fucking bad about it. And then here we are, like, fucking 6 hours later, I get integrity checked about it, right? And I lie about it again. Or I lied about it just that one time, but you know what I mean? I denied my integrity again for something that I'm not quite sure, right? I'm gonna think about that, bitch. So Saturn conjunct Neptune retrograde is already giving me some good material, my friends, right? And I'm also taking away, like, when you deny your integrity, really the only person that you really hurt is you. You know, does the dude care that I lied to him, or has he probably thought about it at all? Probably not, I don't know, right? But I have, right? And it makes me feel shameful. So it's like, in moments when you lack integrity or you go against what you know is good and true for you, like what, you know, the real sufferer is you, the person, in some way. Anyways, I'm getting real weird with it. Point being, Saturn and Neptune are going to be intense. Like, so far, it's been a check in my integrity. It's been a real call to get with fucking reality. Let's take dreamy shit and build it in here into reality. With love. Blah, blah, blah. I love you guys. Thank you for being here if you made it this far. Let me know if you want to talk about Saturn conjunct Neptune and how it plays out in your life. Look to the house area that it is occurring. It will kind of give you an idea of the larger themes of the thing. The themes of the thing specific to you. This was a real lesson in the concept that when you deny your integrity, whether that be you lie or do something, whatever, you know, the person that hurts the most is, you know, when I do that, the person that it hurts the most is me. And it's the situation where you can learn from it. Like, think about what it is that you are able or willing to trade your integrity for. Because that is really important information. And to make right, if you can, what you've done. I'm gonna go back and tell old dude I fucking lied and that I appreciate the integrity check and I won't do it again. And to carry it as a lesson into the future of, like, remembering what it means to carry integrity, remembering what it meant or felt like when I didn't do that. Letting it teach me or inform me and make me better in the future. So this is what it's been, part 2 so far. We'll see what happens. I'm really just hoping the rest of the conjunction as it comes back together is more of like the positive disillusionment, call to integrity that I experienced, you know, when meeting the scientist or whatever. But ramble. Thank you all for being here. I love you guys. Bye.